Hello my dear sisters. I'm going to talk to you in this video about the feminine essence or the feminine presence. And we've talked lots about this in my previous videos, but I just want to expand on what that means for me and where I've come to in my own personal journey with this. And I'm not saying that I've got it all pegged down and correct and right. I'm just going to present to you what's in my heart. And if that kind of resonates with where you're at, then brilliant. And what I would like to see is, hear my thoughts and take them to somewhere in your own place. That's really the best way to deal with everything I'm saying is just pointers to think about. I'm not saying in any way that I'm right and everyone else is wrong or anything like that. It's just my heart. So I just wanted to get that out before we kind of talk about it a bit more. So we talked before about the feminine being in here, in our internal inner she. And we said that the feminine wasn't about what we necessarily look like, or how we behave, or how we present, or how we show up in the world. And that's right. Those things that we see and we identify on that level as being feminine, as it were, is what we kind of come to in our own understanding. This is just simply a representation and a presentation of what's going on in our inner she, because the real feminine, remember we said, was about what was going on in our inner she, and we can demonstrate that on the outside because that's the part that people see. So it's demonstrated in our three feminine superpowers: healing, creativity, and intuition. So those three things is what the feminine is really, really kind of based in and on. And we said before, didn't we, that the feminine was about weaving and blending and flowing and curves and intertwining and being soft and all of those kinds of things. And we said that the masculine was very, very different from that. It was straight lines, it was logic, it was black and white thinking, it was this and it was that, and analytical, and that's absolutely right. So the feminine operates from a completely different perspective than the male kind of way of looking at the world. So I really wanted to just talk about our feminine essence and how we can kind of hone that to our own kind of benefit, really. I think it's really important at this time that we show up, and we are different from men. And I think what's kind of happened in our journey as womankind over many, many years is we've been the feminine has been so wounded and so damaged. And we all know this, and we've all been in that place where we've had something inbound, and we've got ouch, and that's hurt our feminine core. And what I'm talking about there is those times when people, sometimes men and women, would say to us to calm down, or to pipe down, or to not overreact, or to not be emotional, or basically to not be as feminine, or in a feminine expression of ourselves as we could be. It's almost as though the feminine is not in its full power of expression, is not wanted or required. It's almost as though some people feel that the full expression of femininity is too much to handle. And so what happens is we receive a comment directly linked to our femininity and how we express it, either in things that we do or the way that we look. And that creates the wounded feminine. So what our response has been has been from the back foot of defence. We've risen up and we've said as women, we want equality, we want to be heard, we want to be recognised, we want to be considered on an equal footing with men. And all of those things are absolutely right. Of course we do. Of course we want the same opportunities, to have the same jobs for the same money, and the same opportunities, and the same, the same challenges, and to prove ourselves and to be just as worthily considered as any man. Of course. And I'm 100%, 1,000,000% behind that. But at the same time, what we've done is we've become women who have, many of us have been so wounded. What we've done is we've taken that and we've walked in a place where we've said, I'll take men on their own terms. And what we've done is we've kind of said, in order to get ourselves heard and acknowledged, we've found a way to become like men. Because inside we've said, well, surely the men are going to recognise us and take us seriously, take our things seriously, take our hearts seriously, if we become just like them. We're going to play them at their own game. We're going to be like them so that they can accept us more. And in a sense, we can't become, some of us, pseudo males. Some of us, it's very, very, very evident that is the case, and others maybe not so. And it's just really, really difficult to see. It's really difficult to see women selling themselves out to that kind of mindset and that way of thinking. And we've all done it. But the end result of that is that what we're doing is we're squashing our feminine down, because we're also saying the feminine is not enough. We're joining in with that chime, and we're saying my natural state as being feminine doesn't work for me. And we're actually agreeing with this patriarchal stance in the end. So we need to really think about these things in a deep way. And I know this is very, very kind of controversial, and it's gonna hit some of our buttons. And I just want to say to you that I come to you in absolute love and honour of where you're at. Let's just start with our hearts, with where they're at. There's absolutely no judgment here, from my heart to your heart. I'm just sharing what I see and I observe, and I want to open this discussion up, because I think it's time that we need to have the discussion about what the true feminine really is. You see, once we decide and we can kind of come to a place of knowing that for ourselves, and we begin to rise in it, and we gather our sisters to us, and we begin to help our other sisters and queens rise in their own power, which is what we really desperately need. We've got to find a way to do that and not look in any way like men. We've got to rise in our own feminine power. We've got to know what it is, and we've got to know what it is for ourselves. Because what we've done is, in our squashing down of the feminine, we've squashed out our power of the feminine at the same time. And it's all down there, and it's leaving us feeling not good enough, and it's leaving us feeling, I'm just a woman. Well, yes, but you're more than just a woman. You are a mighty, powerful, amazing world changer. That is who we are. We have the power to change the whole world if we would only rise together and stand together. And we've got to deal with the elements of masculinity that we've accepted to play men at their own games, because what we do then, once that's ingrained enough, what we are doing is we tend to do that to each other. And actually we've got to do the complete opposite, because the feminine nature is not at all competitive. It's complementary. It's team building. It's building each other up. Can you see? Can you kind of see what I'm trying to get at? We've just got to come at life in a completely different way than what we've been kind of told. And we surely need a difference, don't we, girls? We surely do, because look at our daughters, look at our young ladies, and we are the ones who've got to change it for them. Our feminine has been so wounded and so downtrodden over many years, and we're aware of it covertly and we're aware of it overtly, as in that it happens to us all the time and we think it's just normal, and it happens to us deliberately, and we go oof, and we have this kind of response to it, and we know that we've been wounded in our feminine essence, and we need to start to change that. If we can start to address that, then we can alleviate some of that for the girls that are coming after us. And boy, have we got to do that. Boy, have we got to do that. Look at the wounded feminine. Do we want our daughters to go through that? No way. We don't want them to have what we had. We want them to have the best, but we want them to have the best of us. I'm reminded that you know the creation story of the Bible, and I'm not going to start preaching in a religious way. I'm just using it as an example. That when God created the world, it is said that He created, light and day first, and then the land, then the sea, then the animals, and then man. And woman was the very last person that God created, and not because she was last but not least, but because she was the pinnacle, the crown of creation. You see, we represent the God part of us, the universal part of us that brings life. That is what we're supposed to do. That is the core of the feminine essence. That it would bring life to every single thing that we breathe on. Every single thing. So when we are truly walking in that place of the feminine, of the sacred feminine presence, when we're truly manifesting that, it will be a place of love and light and life. We are life givers. We build, we construct, we expand, we develop, but we do it from a place of love and light. Can you see how much power we've got? But we need each other. We need each other. So that's what I wanted to say about the feminine essence for now, and I'm going to be back because I've got so much more to say. Love your hearts.